we're told so much that, no, you started it, you have to finish it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Like, I get where you're coming from with that. But what if finishing it doesn't serve me anymore? What if it's not something that I still want to do in my life anymore? You know what I mean? So maybe let me sit down and look at something that I'm truly committed into, you know, starting and finishing.
But then, like, I hear what you're saying, but what about, like, our parents now? Because, like, you from Joburg, you come to Cape Town. You cannot just come to Cape Town and all of a sudden you want to change.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, right? And you see even the way you're saying it right now. What if I do want to change? Because the reason I didn't change was somebody was like, no, man, you're already 6 months in, you know, just bear with it for a little while.
A little while, that's like 4 years.
That's what I'm saying. No, even that 4 years could end up being 7 years.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
Because you're consistently doing this one thing that you don't. But had I just dropped everything first year and started afresh with law, or started afresh with whatever else I wanted to start afresh with, I might be telling a different story about my life right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I regret anything in my life. I'm just saying that sometimes we're pressured into doing certain things that don't continue to serve us anymore. So if you're watching this right now, whatever it is that stops serving you, let it go. Let it go, because it's your time. It's your life. You know, all these people who keep saying, no, man, do this, do that, that's great. And I believe they have the best intentions for you. But as soon as that thing stops serving you, no, look for something else.
That's scary.
Because you'll end up, here's what people like saying. People like saying, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. What if what I'm holding on to doesn't serve me? What if what I'm holding on to is hurting me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let me let go, man. Are you asking me to hold on? No, guys.
I feel like what you're saying is very liberating, but it's like a mind thing. It's like we're very
I'm not saying people should quit soon.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's and I need to clarify that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying when the going gets hard you should quit. No, I'm not saying that. But when you know that something is completely not aligned with who you are at the core of your being, let it go is what I'm saying. Yeah.
If it's not aligned.
If it's not aligned to the core of your being, let it go. I'm not saying people should quit.
So, but then what you're saying, that means that you need to do something that actually aligns with your purpose and with where you actually see yourself in life. But then what about if I just don't know myself? You know, you came to UCT, you were 17 years old. I feel so many 17, like my little sister is 17 years old and she doesn't know what she wants to do. And I completely understand her. Like, how can you decide at 17 years old what you want to be for the rest of your life?
That's very powerful.
So, like, what do you do when you're actually just not sure if is it because this thing is just hard or is it because it doesn't align with me?
Perfect question, Tony. Look for help. Look for help. Don't try to find the answers yourself.
Yeah.
Because not all of them are going to be there for you when you need them to be. Okay. You know, I mean, that you said something very powerful, and that's how can you decide at 17, with just 17 years of your life, how can you decide at that point that is something that you want to do for the next 17 years of your life, which is basically now your rebirth. Yeah. So allow yourself to be born again. Okay. Right? So in that year or so where you're kind of discovering what you want to do, give things a try. Okay. The biggest lie I was told was that I'm running out of time. That's the biggest lie I've ever been told. You're running out of time. You're not running out of time.
And imagine you, like, you're already doing first year at 17. People start first year at like 19,
exactly,
20.
right?
And people are telling you running out of time.
At 17, I'm already told that, no, you're running out of time. Dude, like, you started it a year. I could have afforded to lose 2 years. Yeah, and, definitely. You know, the chosen a different trajectory for my life. And I'm sharing this with you, which is why I don't share a lot, because, like, people need to know and find liberation in something. So if you're doing something right now that you feel like doesn't serve you anymore, let it go. You know what I mean? So initially when I got into this electrical engineering thing, it was a bursary commitment. Yeah, you've passed well. Yeah, distinctions and this and that. You know what I mean? But after a while, you get to realize, okay, no, man, I want to do something else with my life. But luckily at the time, and I already knew that I'm a dope speaker. I already knew that, you know, I'm not shy when I speak to people in public and things like that. And I already knew that the media space would somehow call my name at some point, and I gravitated towards that. Okay, let's actually talk about that. I didn't quit engineering, but I gravitated more towards the media. Okay, let's talk about that. I feel I've actually talked about this whole changing careers thing in my YouTube channel. If you haven't watched it, I'll leave it up here and check it out. But it's a thing of you got the courage to divert or go somewhere else, or you had options, because I think most students, what they do, especially when you're like in science, is you focus on one thing. Like you don't have time for anything else. You don't
Like I was speaking to someone the other time, and they're like trying to write down their CV, and I'm just like, and she's like, I don't know what else to do. I'm like, so you've not been part of any student society? No, you've not been part of anything. All you've done all your life is just school, and that is. It limits you in so many ways, because if you go out and you participate in other things, then you see what other options are there. You see what actually ignites your fire.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
I like what you said. What ignites your fire?
So let's talk about
what excites you.
Yeah. How did you? What happened for you to be like? You knew you were a good speaker, Liz. You knew media would call. You know, how did you actually know that?
I've always believed myself to be one of the best.
Oh wow! Okay.
You know, I have.
Yeah.
I've always believed myself to be something deep inside. You know what I mean? So, because and it sounds arrogant, I must admit.
But then it's fine. Arrogant is fine.
And the reason I'm saying it sounds arrogant is because we were taught that people who say I'm this, I'm that are arrogant.
Which is funny, because we say that and also encourage people to actually affirm that.
Exactly. It's as though we want you to affirm that, but do it in quiet. People must not know that you know you're good. You know what I mean? Which is just like, no, but why am I doing it in the first place?
Yeah.
So I mean, I grew up public speaking. So I was that kid who was called to go speak at assembly.
Oh,
when it came to like poetry in class, I'd like get really good marks. When it's like oral time, I'd get really good marks. So, you know.
Actually, you're just good in everything. I mean, if you're good in school and you're good at that.
Yeah, so my maths and whatever was also good, but speaking was like my thing. You know what I mean? So, as the more I did it, the more it developed.
Okay.
You know, the more it developed. So, even when I got to high school and I started like, you know, doing debates and things like that, there was a time when I was even in parliament because of speaking and all these things.
Oh, that's nice.
So, you know, it develops. Whatever you focus on, you know, it grows as time goes on, you know what I mean? So even when I was in UCT, I knew that if this thing here don't work out, hey, look, man, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. You know what I mean?
You have a backup plan. and funny enough, like your backup plan is not just a backup plan, it's something that you so desire so much in your heart.
Exactly. So I knew that should this not work out, if there's one thing I know I can do, it's speaking. So I started looking for auditions. So every time
when was this?
This is like my third year.
Okay.
I'm already looking for auditions. No, second year. I'm lying. Second year.
Yeah.
I'm already looking at auditions. Like, who's got an audition?
What kind of auditions are you looking for?
I'm searching. I'm going to Google and I'm like presenting auditions.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they pop up. One of them would pop up. One of them would pop up. And then as I'm doing these things, eventually like good auditions start popping up. And I remember in 2016, is it 2015 or 2016? I think 2016, 2017 MTV Base had an audition search, like a presenter search. But before that, I went to like a Hectic 991. You know when they say you're so great, but they don't pick you?
Yeah.
So it had happened so many times that you start like questioning if you have it or not. But I was always in like the top 10s and all these things. So I was like, okay, maybe there's something. And then then 2017, the same year, it was Hectic 99, it was MTV Base, and then Mzansi Insider.
Sure.
You know, when I was going for the Mzansi Insider one, that one was purely God. I'll tell you right now, that gig was just purely God.
You're saying that in like my brother's
that was purely God, and that's what God does. Like when God gives you something, He wants to make sure that you know it wasn't Him.
It was Him. Yeah.
You know for a fact it wasn't me, because I had to force myself to go for those auditions because of how many times I was rejected that year.
Yeah.
You know, I had to force myself.
Like, did you feel like I don't want to do the same?
No, I started questioning whether I had it or not.
Okay.
And I was like, it was very uncomfortable because I was like, hey man, why am I getting into these top 10 so many times, but like no one's actually like giving me a proper shot. You know what I mean? So I started just questioning a number of things, and I was like, no man, let me just give it a break for the year. And I know that there's a lot of presenters out there and like people in the media space who decide, you know what, this year I'm gonna give it a space, a break, I'll try again next year. I was in that zone. I'm like, you know what, let me just breathe, let it go for a bit, I'll try again next year.
So these auditions, where are they? Are they in Joburg?
They are these ones were coming to Cape Town.
Oh,
the Mzansi Insider one didn't come to Cape Town.
So you had to go for it.
I had to go for it.
Wow.
I had to use money I didn't have to go for it. So yeah.
And then you got the gig.
And then I got the gig, yeah.
So like when you're doing that, what's happening with school and stuff?
Oh, school is happening, but it's not like it's not first priority at this point.
Yeah.
Like when you find something that just completely takes over who you are, that
then
that
everything
takes,
else has
like
to
that
take.
Exactly. You know. So that year particularly, media just took full speed, and like everything else, it didn't matter. Like everything else, as a result, the only thing that mattered worked out, and everything that didn't matter in my mind didn't work out. So that year, I think I failed so many courses. You know what I mean? Like business wasn't also going so well because I was just focused on wanting to get this thing done. You know what I mean? So Mzansi Sada had auditions everywhere else in South Africa but Cape Town. And I remember the day I was supposed to go to the one in Bloemfontein, like the following day, my physics tut was supposed to finish at like 6:30 so that I can run to the train station and catch the bus that goes to Bloemfontein, wake up in Bloemfontein at like 5 a.m., go to like an Airbnb and ask them for a shower, and then go queue for the line. That was my thinking. That's what I thought I was going to do, because Bloemfontein is closer to Cape Town. So I was like, okay, dude, look, finish your tut, rush to the bus station. I think the bus was like 500-600 rand. Get in the bus, take enough clothes. When you get there, either you're gonna go brushing up in the toilets somewhere, or like try find like a young house that's like an Airbnb, speak your nice English, and they'll let you in. You know what I mean? So that was how I thought, did that tut not finish at 7:30, dude? At this point, I'm like, okay, God, I see what you're doing. You really don't want me to go audition for this. The following week, I think it was like Eastern Cape or something like. No, the same week actually. The week before that, it was Eastern Cape. Something happened and I couldn't go. So this week on a Friday, something is happening and I can't go. And I'm already feeling like giving it a break for a year. No, man, this must be God saying, don't do it. You know? And then I remember on the Saturday, so Saturday morning would be Bloom. Sunday, Josie was having auditions. So this tut I'm talking about is Friday. Saturday, I wake up, I've got an assignment hand in, I've got a project hand in, I've got engineering student problems. Basically, you know what I mean? More so, I've got UCT engineering student problems. Dude, I literally, I remember praying to God and I was like, God, I don't know why I'm not at the audition today, but please just give me a sign. If I log in right now and I find any flight less than 700 rand, because all I had was 700 rand in the business account, not even in my, like the business wasn't going so well that all I had was 700. That's something. I took that bus. I took that flight. It was the same day flight. And same day flights are never, like if you're flying the same day, you know you're paying like 1 point something, 2 point something K. But luckily I found like a flight around 700. I'm booking it at like 11. It's leaving at 4. So I was like, okay, this has to be God. So now I'm leaving. I get to Joburg, just chill with the family a bit. I sleep. In the morning, 4 a.m. I'm up. 5 a.m. I'm go Park Station in Joburg, from my hood to the main Josie CBD. 5:30, I'm at Auckland Park. And when I got there, it was already, people slept there. You see how long voting lines are? That's how long that line was. Did I just come here to get eliminated in Joburg with so many lines? Did I just use the money I don't have to come and stand in this long line and not make it? That would have been so sad. But you see what that would have done to God also. It would have been like, dude, I took you from so far. I'm putting you in this long line, and I'm just gonna turn you back just like that. It couldn't have been.
Why?
You know what I mean? God has a reputation to protect us. You know what I mean? So eventually get to the front, and those lines were so long that they started screening people on the lines. So they'll just come to you and say, do a link, and you just say 1 or 2 things that say we don't like it. Well, so a link would be, hello, you're watching 1, 2, 3 with Kongi, stay tuned, or something like that. You know what I mean? So that'd be anything you say into camera is a link, basically. So you like do like an intro thing, and they just take you they just like turn you back same time, just a cut on the line because it was so long. Hey, when I get there, luckily I didn't get the lady who made me do the link. Right. So I got there to the front. She had done doing that, and then she was sitting down this time. Then I present to her. She's like, "Where you from?" With an attitude. I'm like, I'm from Cape Town. She's like, "You came all the way from Cape Town to come here just to give us that?" I'm like, this lady is trying me. Why you gotta be so rude, man? She's like, give me another one. Then I get another. She's like, give me in Vernac. I give it. She's like, okay, you've got Julius Malema in studio. He's angry. He just lost the local elections.
Yeah.
You need to interview him. He's not in the mood to talk. Now I need to talk to an angry Julius Malema who just lost me. So I made something up right then and there. And then after that, she's like, go talk to that lady there. I'm like, okay. She doesn't tell me if I'm going through or not. She's like, okay, you see that lady there? Go talk to her and see what she says. So as I'm waiting, another lady is open. I try going to this lady who's open. She's like, hey, I said that lady there. So I go to that lady eventually when she's got an opening. I do 1, 2, 3. The lady's like, okay, now just slow down a bit, do it again. I do it. I think I actually got selected right there. I think, now that I'm thinking back, I think Mzansi Inside selected me there. I think that was my yes right there. Because everything else inside wasn't as hard as that. Yeah. And I don't think anyone else went through that thing outside. I think I was probably the only one.
Sure.
You know? So eventually I get inside, we go through these rounds and rounds and rounds of auditions. When I'm now, fast forward, I'm in the top 2.
Wow.
Nationally. Guess who that lady who made me do it 4 times was? The first lady. That was the commissioning editor of the show.
Okay.
Commissioning editor.
I don't know
what a commissioning editor does is when you shoot a show, you finish it, she watches it, and then she'd say, okay, no, let's take this angle here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's maybe remove that there. Okay, please tell her. I used to say yes sis a lot on the show. I need to stop saying yes sis a lot on the show. So she just makes sure that the show itself is viewership ready and channel ready.
Okay.
So if it's SABC 1 in the morning, there's certain you can't be saying on a morning show, for example. So you know what I mean? So there's certain things that it just needs to be channeled well with the platform
like
that
polishing
it's on. Basically just polishing and making sure that the content is relevant and the content is what the producers say it is. Basically, you know what I mean?
Okay.
The other lady that the commissioning editor was pointing me to is the executive producer of the show.
Sure.
I didn't know all of this at this point. I'm just thinking these ladies are just being rude to me. That day right then and there, I didn't know it, but fast forward to me getting the gig, I was being vetted.
You were.
I was like, you know, I was probably too good to be true, man. I was being vetted.
I think you were. I think you were. Like you're very good at what you do. You're very good. You're very good. So like getting into Mzansi Insider, is it what you've always expected it to be?
No. A part of it is, but a huge part of it isn't, because Mzansi Insider is probably one of the hardest shows in the country.
Really?
To do.
Why is that?
As a presenter.
Yeah.
You are tested on every level.
Okay.
The opening link is welcome to Mzansi Insider. Your energy is up there. You're talking to an artist, which is basically like live amp. Squeezed in 30 minutes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because or any music show for that matter, squeezed in that thing. After that, you're throwing forward to a serious interview. Like a serious interview.
Yeah.
After that, you are interviewing someone in their house.
Yeah.
And this person could have the most dire disease in life that she's talking about or he's talking about with you. Or they're talking about some deep heartbreak they've gone into. Or they're telling you their success story.
Yeah.
You know, or they're telling you about their love story. Or they're telling you about their heartbreck story. You know? So the range of emotions for that show is a lot. That's what I'm saying. It's one of the hardest shows to do.
And you need to, like, your personality need to fit into.
Yes, you need to be human to do that show. You can't be anything but human to do something inside. You can't. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. But yes, I think my expectation was, you know, I'm just going to get there.
And then you do your thing, you know?
Speak.
Same mood all the time, I
don't know that I'd have to.
I get you.
I don't know that I'd have to be that present.
Okay, now let's talk about Casey the entrepreneur now.